And welcome again to Out of the Mud Universe. And we present today Juice the Truth, episode 8, Self Identity. And without holding back, here's Juice.
Juice the Truth. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Tribe. Welcome to Juice the Truth Wednesday. We are here today and we are discussing self identity. How do you define or identify? How do you identify as an individual? So, some of the things that I've been going through and dealing with, some of the people that I've been dealing with closely lately, seem to have questions about how to identify themselves or how to put in personal development to identify themselves. So, a couple things that helped me, and just to tell a little bit of a backstory about my personal development and self identity. Self identity, I became more aware of my self identity when I started tapping into things that I was not tapping into. If you have a question about how to identify yourself, if it's a question, if you are not clear about who you are, then you're going to have to go through a journey of discovering who you are. So, my journey started when I was in a space of confusion. I was going through some things in my life, and I needed a complete change. I needed to have some supernatural things happen in my life. So what I decided to do was to change the things that I was doing on a daily basis. The number one thing that I did that helped me to become a better person, become a whole different person, was I had to unlearn everything that I learned as a child, as a young adult, in my earlier years, 20s. I had to unlearn a lot of things that I learned in those years. And the thing about it, you have to understand that we are all on a program. Everybody's on a program. Everybody runs on a program. And that program is helping you or aiding you in self identity. The things that you do every single day, that is creating your identity. So for me, I'm going to say I started reading was one of the changes that I had to make for myself, was reading. I was not reading as an adult. All throughout my 20s, early 30s, I was not reading. I was watching a lot of television. And if you know anything about the television is there to tell you what to think about. And if you are not self aware of the things that you think about, then you are not intentionally creating your identity. So I had to do a few things, but reading was definitely at the top of my list as far as self identity. Reading changed a lot for me. Reading changed my thinking. Reading changed the way that I speak to myself. Reading changed the way that I react to things. There's a lot of information in books that are not on television. If you are looking for a change in your life, in your existence, in your reality, in whatever you have going on, you're going to have to change up some things that you do on a daily basis. Um, what? Oh, okay. I know that.
We still here.
I lost my thought.
Okay, no
I
worries. You
lost my
good?
thought. Yeah.
All right. You got this. Yeah,
Yeah.
it
So
happens sometimes. So
completely lost my thoughts. So yeah, self identity. We talking about self identity. I had to change up a lot of things that I was doing on a daily basis. Reading was one of the main things that I changed. If you have not read a book as an adult, listen, that will change your life. Reading books will change your life. Um, I stopped watching television. I stopped watching the reality shows because they're not real reality. These things give you an idea of what they think you should be thinking about. And if you pay too much attention to that type of the type of situations that go on the television, then those same type of situations will start to develop in your life and in your relationships, in your whatever you have going on. You'll start seeing the same type of negativity going on in your own life if you continue to watch that type of stuff. So I had to learn how to create my own identity by changing up my everyday habits, working out. Again, if you want to completely change your life, working out is another step. I will start there. Um,
So can I take you back a little bit?
mhm.
Because I'm listening to what you're saying, and it's amazing. But what direction did you go in with the books that you started reading? Like, break
Yeah,
it down. What
so
did you start with?
man, I love talking about the books too. Anything that was self-helping. That's the
Okay,
only thing I read is self-helping books, books that teach you about yourself, books that teach you about your emotions, books that teach you about your reaction to things. Not really on a religion basis, but
gotcha.
spiritual basis. Just teach you how, like, we all come equipped with powers and we don't even know
What's one
because
of your
we
favorites or most impactful books
um
when it comes to self help?
I read Atomic Thoughts is a good one.
Okay.
Um, Think and Grow Rich is another
Oh,
one.
that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Period. All time.
Yep.
Chapter 10.
48 Laws of Power.
Okay. Robert Greene is awesome.
Yep. Those are a few.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And then I read some books from a couple artists. I read Rick Ross' book. That was like
Oh
extremely
wow.
insightful. Yeah.
What's the name of that book?
Um, I have it on my phone. I forgot the name of it. I think it's A Good Day to Get Rich or something like that. I forgot the name
Okay.
of it, but yeah, his book was extremely insightful. Like
Really?
he really give you some good tips on like how to market yourself, like how to brand yourself.
Mm. Okay.
So, and that's what we are. We are all a brand.
Hmm.
And it's like you have to work on your brand
Personal
every day.
billboards. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to work on your brand every day. So for me, I'm a brand. So
Mhm.
I'm working on my body every day. I'm working
Okay.
on my mind every day.
Okay.
I'm eating well. That helps.
Awesome.
That helps with thinking. So that helps to create a positive self identity.
Okay. Have
Yeah.
you ever had issues with your like self identity when it comes to body positivity?
Um, I think for being a woman and having children,
Hmm.
after you have babies, after you give
Okay.
birth, that's probably one of the most struggling times of self identity because you are getting to know a new version of yourself.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I struggled then, especially because I wasn't reading, I wasn't working out, I wasn't
Hmm.
intentionally putting in work
Hmm.
for personal development and self identity. So
Okay.
yeah.
Now you're on a stranded island and
Mhm.
you can only do one of the things that you do
Mhm.
ritually every day, either work out, read,
Mhm.
or the type of food, or which one could you not live without if you were stranded on the island?
Probably food.
So you would make sure that
Yeah.
the food was what you wanted.
Yeah. Cuz the food is healing.
Okay.
So, if you eat right, you can go without like working out as long as you're eating right cuz
Okay.
most of the time if you're not eating right, and you're working out, that's still it doesn't balance out.
Mm,
So, you won't have any results, like you won't see any results, but if
okay.
you eat well and don't work out, you still will still
A
see
healthy
results.
fat.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I would prefer all three. Eating, working out, reading, all
Okay.
three, yeah.
So all three. But the food would be the most, you a foodie.
Definitely
Uh,
wanna eat well,
yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Now what's your favorite dish?
Um, I don't know if I have a favorite dish to eat. I'm a salmon person. I
Okay.
love salmon. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
So
I feel like salmon is usually, like, light, healthy,
mhm.
yeah. And I'm not a big meat eater anyway, so I don't eat a lot of I don't eat pork. I don't eat,
Okay.
a lot of different meats, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha. So back to the self identity.
Mhm.
You were on the track and I got you off a little bit. So I just wanted to see what it was that you got into that
Mhm.
helped guide your course to where you are now.
That's like getting to know yourself. You have to get to know yourself. A lot of people don't know who they are. They don't know what they really want in life, and that will stand in the way of you intentionally creating a better and more positive identity for yourself. If you don't know what you want, you don't know what to go after. So you have to get to know yourself, and that comes with I know I went through isolation. That comes with solitude, you know. If you're not around a lot of people, you're around if you spend more time with yourself, you become more aware of the things that you are thinking about. And that drives the direction of where your life is going, your thoughts. You have to have control over your thoughts. You have to be intentional with your thoughts. If you are not intentional with your thoughts, then you'll end up anywhere. So, for a lot of people, you have to recognize what's stopping you. What is stopping you from moving forward? What is stopping you from progressing? What's stopping you from starting that thing that you really want to start? What's stopping you from stopping the thing that you really want to stop that you know is going to make your life better? What's in your way? That's the first thing you need to understand, because there's not like people are not in our way. We are always in our own way of when we want to evolve. And that's what life is. Life is evolving. You're always evolving. But if you're not intentionally evolving, if it's not intentional, then you're evolving in the wrong direction. You have to be you have to be consistent, and you have to know where you're going and what you're doing. Self identity is highly connected to personal self development. See, what I mean by self development is you are always trying to learn something new. You should always be in a space of learning something new, in the progress, in progress, learning something new. If you're not learning anything new, then you're at a standstill. You always want to learn as much as you can. You will never know when you're going to need whatever you're learning. You never know. You can learn something now and don't use those skills for another 5 years. So everything you learn is actually is good. It's intentional. Like that should be your intention, to learn new things.
Do you have any like examples, or you could give us a light example on what you mean by those things,
So
or something that happened with you or someone you know?
well, a lot of adults don't have like hobbies. A lot of adults go to work, go home, and their hobby is watching TV, laying down,
Right.
doing the normal thing. When you can really be using that time to learn a new skill. You
Okay.
can be using that time to learn, something new about yourself.
Right.
Because if you're not challenging yourself, you won't know your full potential. You only
Isn't
know
that how
your
you
full.
got into the seamstress lane, or the
Yeah,
designer lane? You
yeah.
went to the basement and like
Went to the basement.
isolated yourself.
Yep,
Okay.
isolated myself probably for some months,
Mm,
and just stayed in the basement learning a new skill.
gotcha.
I didn't have anybody to push me, to drive me, to encourage me. I literally had to be all of that. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's how you learn. If it's something you want to learn, you'll learn it for sure. It's
Mm,
just that you don't have a desire to learn anything. Yeah.
mm, awesome.
Yeah. So we talk about reading. Reading, I would suggest that you read instead of watching television. Reading it just puts you on a different frequency. Watching television puts you on the same frequency as everyone else. You will be watching someone live their life when you can be living yours. So you want to make sure you read. Take out some time to read. Working out is essential, because you have to ask yourself, how long is your body gonna last in the shape that it's in right now? Can you last another 10 to 15 to 20 years in the shape that you're in right now?
That's a deep question.
Yeah. Because a lot of people they're not working on their health. And you have to ask yourself, how long is your body going to last? Like, could your
Right.
body last another 20 years from now?
Mhm. How
You know,
long do you plan on being around?
I mean, as long as
So you wanna
I'm
yeah,
here.
gotcha. Some
Yeah.
folks, they like, "I don't wanna get old," you know?
I mean, that's not a choice. So that's not even a thought in my head that I don't want to get old. Like,
Mhm,
that's like saying I don't want to die. That's not a choice.
mhm.
So,
Gotcha.
yeah. Getting old is graceful. Like, most older people have a lot of
Mhm,
wisdom.
mhm.
Like, a lot of wisdom. If you really have a conversation with older people, they'll drop a lot of
Oh, most
gems.
definitely.
Like,
Yeah,
a lot of gems. Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah. So I don't mind getting old. The more you work out, the younger you look anyway. So
okay.
yeah,
And it's your diet also.
it is.
Yeah,
Gotta
I was
eat
looking at
well.
this one young lady. Well, she's an older lady. She was, I think, in her 80s, but
Mhm.
she's a vegan. She doesn't eat any animal byproducts at all,
Mhm.
and so she looked like she around your age,
Yeah.
even though she's in her 80s. It's
Yeah.
like it's incredible, and she
It
said it's
is. It's
based on what she
incredible what
eats.
we all can do though. Like, we all
Right.
have that same ability, like, but we don't use it.
Mhm,
We don't use it. We all come equipped with the same powers, the same
mhm,
abilities, but we don't use them. And
mhm,
we would see someone using those abilities and think that we can't do it.
mhm. So
Like,
you got to
because
get
they
your
make
Wonder
it
Twin
easy.
activate on and do it. Do what you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah, see, you have to become a different person. That's what I learned as far as doing anything. You have to become a different person. You have to unlearn the things that you were taught, and you have to relearn a whole different new life. A whole different all your values, all your morals, all those things that you were taught in the beginning. You can hold on to them, but if you want something different, if you want a drastic change in your life, you have to unlearn and relearn. Reprogram.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep dropping all that knowledge and like and information. It's some great information that you're passing along.
Man, what reprogramming was completely and still is a lot different. Like, I don't know if I ever had a thought of reprogramming myself until I heard um I want to say probably Myron Golden. If you don't know Myron Golden, you want to go look up Myron Golden. Um I don't know if he's considered a motivational speaker, but he's a motivational speaker. One of the best that I've heard. But yeah, you have to unlearn the things that you were learned. Some things that you learned and you believe in are not true for you. And see, people can only teach you what they know. And what they know might not work out for you. So you have to learn how to unlearn and relearn. And it's going to be a journey. I'm telling you, it's not easy at all. It's not easy at all. It's probably one of the hardest things you'll ever have to do is relearn, unlearn and relearn, reprogram yourself. When you figure out that the things that you've been doing does not work out for you, you have to become a different person. And how do you become a different person? The things that you normally do, you can't do anymore. It's just that simple. You have to create a whole identity for yourself. But the good thing about that is we have the ability to do that. Your life can look completely different a whole year from now. If you started now to recreate, to unlearn and relearn some things that will help you in your journey. Like, what steps are you taking when you say you want something different? What steps are you really taking? What changes are you really making? And are you hanging around the same people that you were hanging around before? Because that will have a lot to do with you not moving forward and you not being able to intentionally recreate yourself. Because people who you hang around will always remind you who you used to be. And that'll be hard to get away from.
So I got a Myron Golden on here. Like I'm gonna share a clip.
Mhm.
Uh and here we go.
Scripture says, don't be made like the world with pressure from the outside. Go in and rip out all that old programming, tear it out, and then put in some new stuff that's based on the Word of God. And people think they
Okay, so he basically just said tear out all the old programming. So basically,
Mm-hmm.
unlearn everything that you learned because what you learned before was from the world, and what you need to learn is from the Word of God. So all the stuff that we learned that you think just that's just common sense. Oh, the world taught me this. This is just what I know. You got to unlearn that stuff because it's not correct. And in order to learn what's correct, you got to unlearn
All right.
See, Myron Golden, he speaks a lot about he helps you as far as like business wise because he speak a lot about some of the I don't know how to put it. He talks about money, and I like money. I know everybody likes money, but he speaks about how to get or how to run your business and some of the things that's in the Bible that talks about how to become more prosperous. He put it in like layman's term to where you can understand it. That's what I
You
like
want to try
about.
one more? See what this one is about money.
Yeah.
See what he says about this.
Myron Golden is a like smart
Primary
man.
purpose of money is to pay bills. Middle class people think the primary purpose of money is to pay their bills on time so they can maintain good credit, so they can buy more stuff they can't afford if they
Right.
can afford the payments. Poor people are afraid of debt. Middle class people are used by debt. Rich people use debt to create wealth and avoid taxes legally. It's a different way of thinking.
That was that one.
Yeah. So he dropped gems.
Okay.
Like he dropped and very rich man. Like and he teach you how to get rich though.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one person that I follow a
So you
lot.
okay.
Yeah.
It's one of your mentors. Yeah.
Definitely.
YouTube University
Yep.
mentors.
One of the YouTube University mentors. Yeah.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
Yep. He's become like one of my top things. Yeah.
Myron Golden. Getting you to the
Yes. Get to the money.
for sure.
He definitely teach you how to get to the money. But yes, we're talking about self identity, personal development. I don't think most people understand how important it is to always include personal development in your life. Always include you learning something new. Always include adding to your resume. Always include adding to your brand. You are the brand. You're the resume. So, like one of the things that I appreciate is that since I've done some changes as far as my self identity and personal development, it's like I don't have to speak about it to people first. They always come up to me and ask me or compliment me about something, which lets me know, which confirms for me that the changes that I made were positive changes and that it's effective. It's definitely effective.
So what would you say are your I wouldn't want to say struggles, but I guess
Hmm.
your biggest struggles when it comes to staying motivated and making sure that you live what you talk and you live what you see or visualize.
Uh, Number one is gonna be consistent. Being consistent. That's one of the
Okay.
the biggest struggles is staying consistent. Like I'm a good starter. I can start as soon as and
Mm,
I just talked to one of my friends yesterday, and she tell me like one of the things that she admire most in me is that when I say I'm gonna do something, I do it.
okay.
Like regardless of how hard I think it is or what the outcome might be,
Mm,
I deal with the consequences later.
mm,
But she said that I'm good at good at starting things, and I am. Like
okay.
that's one of the that came from personal development. I had to get used to doing that kind of thing. So
Awesome.
yeah, learning
So the
when
follow
to
through,
start.
it's
Yeah,
like you're not just gonna get out there and just
no.
okay, I'm done.
I'm one of those
It's
type of
done when it's
people
done.
that when the thought comes in my head, I try to hurry up and do it before the thought leaves my head.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. That's awesome. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, so the effects that eating well has on your personal development. Um, I realized that eating well contributed to my thinking about everything. Like most things. Like if I have something to do, eating well is going to keep me on the track of making sure that thing gets done.
Okay.
Because if you eat and you have things to do, what's the first thing you do after you eat?
You sleep.
You get sleepy.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you're eating the right things because it
Get the
definitely
itis.
affects, definitely. But most people don't think about that. It's not a conscious thing. It's very much unconscious. Um, and if you have not programmed your conscious to or your subconscious to do the things that you need to do versus the things that you want to do, your life gonna go in a completely different direction.
Right,
That's
right.
where the unlearn and learn come from and relearn come from.
I've been
Your
relearning
consciousness.
myself to eat berries lately. I've been eating a bunch of berries and
Yeah,
cherries lately.
yeah,
So
that's good.
yeah, they taste good too, especially late at night when you
It's a
got the
thought.
craving.
Yeah,
Like, oh my goodness,
yeah. You see, you have
I don't
to
even feel fat
program
eating
yourself
this.
to think like when I
Yeah,
get hungry, that's one of the things I'm gonna
right.
grab. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I had to do too. I had to do that as well. When it comes to eating, if you keep the good things around, that's what you're gonna eat. If you
Right.
stop buying the bad things, you won't eat it. But
Yeah.
it's hard to do. It's easier said than
We need
done.
a Whole Foods down here,
Easier said than done. Yeah.
or Dale's
The
needs to
farmers
come
market
down
is pretty
closer.
good though. They have the
They
fresh,
are, but they only open on 3 days.
right, certain days. Yeah.
So,
So on those days that they're
so let me
open.
apologize, Flint. We don't need no Whole Foods. We need the farmers market to be open 7 days a week.
Right. 7 days a week for the farmers market is one of my favorite places to go. But yeah. So we talked about the many things that you have to do to recreate, to unlearn, and to reprogram yourself. If you're looking for a change, I know I went through a situation where I really, really just felt like I needed a change, a complete change. And once you get to the point where you have no other option, you didn't hit rock bottom and you feel like you need something to happen immediately and drastically, you literally have to become a completely different person. You are not going to get the things that you want until you become the person that deserves those type of things. And it's a lot that I am right now attracting that I wanted to attract in the past, but because I become that person and I feel comfortable being that person, now I'm attracting those type of things. Um, yeah, you have to. Man, one of the most important things that I learned was I had to control what I think about. Thoughts are so important. Thoughts are way more important than we ever give credit to. Positive thinking, positive speaking, that little voice in your head that is constantly talking to you every day. Sometimes it tells you to do the right thing, sometimes it tells you to do the wrong thing. But you need to think more consciously and stop thinking if you don't be intentional with your thinking. If you allow yourself to think negatively, then those thoughts are going to be the thoughts that drive your life.
For sure, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, those thoughts are going to be the thing that drive your life.
I want to give a shout out to Third, because he's normally here with you.
Right.
And he was caught up doing some other things, saving the world over. I think he over there saving
Being a
some kids in
Superman.
Japan or China or somewhere.
Yeah.
But shout out to Third. You greatly miss. Juice missing you over here. I had to step in, me, Mr. Stutter. But she's doing a great job, man. She's doing her thing. She's doing her thing, getting it done. And she's giving an actual master class on what you need to do in order to change your world. So if you go back, rewind this once this is over, it'd be like listening to Tupac back in the day. You're gonna get some game.
Right. And listen, shout out to Jock for all your beauty and makeup needs for booking information. Jock is one of the best makeup artists around Flint. So yeah, shout out to her. You might want to hit up her website at www.shopmakeupismylife.com. Shout out to Jock for makeup.
This would be that time where we would hear Third say,
Right. Right.
you know that. But it is what it is. Life is life. We living it. And you doing
Right.
your thing. Let's give a shout out to Juice the Truth, episode
Right.
8, self-identity. She's putting it down, letting you know what's going on. And she's gonna keep doing it. Let's get it.
Yeah. So we on self-identity, personal development. Self-identity and personal development. What work do you intentionally put in? What work do you intentionally put in on a daily basis? Every day I try to put in some type of work towards my personal development. That is whether I'm reading a book, listening to an audiobook, doing some creative work, working out. Try to work out every day. So those are some of the things that I do to enhance my personal development and to stay above, to stay progressing and evolving. If you are not consciously doing some things to stay progressively evolving, then the world is shifting you right now. The world is shifting you, not you. So you think something is wrong and nothing is working out for you, you really have to check your thinking. You really have to check your thinking. Thinking, thoughts are energy. If you don't know, thoughts are energy. Whenever you have a thought, you are attracting whatever you're thinking about. So I encourage you, please think positively. Think positively. You want to have affirmations. Affirmations is a good way to reprogram yourself. Affirmations will keep you connected to the things that you want, to the things that you desire. You want to make sure you get up every morning and speak positively to yourself. Even on those bad days, you really need those positive words. So I encourage you to learn some affirmations, some things that'll keep you moving, keep you going, and keep you encouraged. Do you have affirmations?
I don't have anything that I do religiously besides get
Mm-hmm.
up and work on Out of the Mud and Veterans Are Now. So no, I do not.
Okay.
I do not do affirmations. I
You should
just get
try
up
it.
and do. So
It's
I,
just
I,
words
I
to yourself, When you look in the mirror to yourself, it's like you have that conversation with yourself, you know what I'm saying?
I'm a negative person towards myself.
Are you?
I am. I'm super
See, that
negative
has to
because,
change.
well, it keeps me motivated. In my opinion, my personal opinion,
Uh-huh.
because uh, I'm like this. You need to do what you need to do, and whatever I say along with that,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I'm telling myself to get up and do it because I'm tripping. So you need to get up, and do it. All this extra, it ain't nobody coming to save you. Ain't nobody doing nothing. You about to lose your mind if you don't get everything together.
See, those are the words that you want to switch up. Like you can say the same thing, but if you use different words, you will take it differently. Like you speaking negatively, get your ass up and you need to do. You can say like, I'm happy to get up and do this. You know what I'm saying? Like because it could be that you don't have the ability to get up and do that.
Understood. I
You
get it.
know what I'm saying? So that the affirmation would be, I'm happy to be able to get up and do this.
Well, I would say I say I'm thankful a lot.
Yeah.
So that would be an affirmation if we're gonna put it like that. So I'm
I'm
always thankful
thankful.
because, like you said, I don't have to have the ability to do
Right.
any of the stuff that I do. So I'm thankful,
Mm-hmm.
because I do have friends, close friends that have barrier issues. So
Mm-hmm.
I just lost one last year who had issues, but they're some of the most motivated, some of the most hardworking people, period.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, I have to get up and do what I need to do. I don't care
Yeah.
what I'm mentally dealing with or what I'm physically dealing with. I have to, because if this
Mm-hmm.
person or that person is gonna say, George, what you doing? I have to get up. I don't
Yeah.
have an excuse.
Yeah.
So whatever I need to do to get up, maybe it's some of the military part of it,
Mm-hmm.
just the screaming in the face, just motivating yourself through just sheer will.
Yeah.
But I just do it. It has to be done,
Right.
some kind of way.
It's a part of that, that's a part of life.
Mm,
But I think that's one of the things that got me like so grateful when I
mm,
really thought about it, because you can be having a bad day and
mm.
it's all right to have a bad day.
Right.
What's not all right is to stay in the mindset of that bad day.
Stay stuck. No, you
Right,
can't
to
stay
stay
stuck.
stuck in the thought, because
Mhm.
then now that little bad mood turn into a bad day, and
Right.
that bad day turn into a worse day, and or bad week, and it'll keep going and going. But you got to learn to let things go quickly. Like,
I get you.
yeah, not everything is going to work out in your favor. Not
Right.
everything is going to work out the way you thought. But if you really like, and I don't mean to turn it like religious, but because it's not religious, but more, spiritual. If you really, really believe in God, you know that even in the bad moments,
Mhm.
that's still part of the plan. Like,
Mhm.
even when you fall, that's still part of the plan. Like, you don't know what was
It's a
up
painful
here.
part.
Yeah, it's a painful part. And it's a part that you don't necessarily understand when you're going through it.
If this cup can be removed, please remove it, Lord.
Right. See, the only thing you think about is how you feel in the moment. You didn't get what you wanted to get, or you thought it was going to go a different way. But then it's like that. And that's where affirmations come in, because I always tell myself that even though I'm not where I thought I would be, I know that this is still part of the plan. And if you have that mindset, like, this is still part of the plan, instead of, oh, this not working out for me. Like, there's always a brighter side. If God take
Right.
you down here, God could be protecting you from whatever was up here that would have killed you and took you out.
Right,
So
right,
you
right,
don't
right.
know. Like, so even those down moments, this is still part of the plan.
Right.
So yeah, I try to keep that mindset.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
And I'm just I believe myself to be a little different because, you know, I, I've accomplished a whole bunch in life, and I don't, it is what it is, but I got a lot more that I plan on accomplishing. It's
So is it that you don't celebrate yourself?
if what's to celebrate? If I ain't get to the goal,
Mm-hmm.
I'm still in the game. The
See,
game's not over.
that's where we have to reprogram too.
Okay.
Because you saying that you're not celebrating because you didn't get to the goal. The thing about it, there is no goal. There'll never be a goal. It's only it's the journey, is not the destination. So you're thinking about getting to the goal, when the goal, every time you get to the goal, it get pushed back even more. It is not the goal, it's the journey. It's the person that you become in the process of going after whatever it is. That's the prize, the person that you become, not the material thing, not the goal, the success, not that. Is the person that you become. You become a completely different person in the process of going after whatever you're going after. That's the prize, not the goal.
I got you.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. I get it. I take
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep my mouth.
Yeah. So just speaking about that, like I said, it's just, you have to think differently for every situation that you're going through. You have to think differently. You have to know that every part of your journey is a part of the plan. Your highs, your ups, your downs, your down moments, your solitude moments, when you feel lonely, when you feel like nobody is really messing with you, when you feel, all of that is part of the plan. It's supposed to bring out a different side of you. It's supposed to let you get to know a part of yourself that you didn't know before, or that you were avoiding.
Right.
All of that. Like,
See, that's one thing. I try not to avoid anything. My biggest fear is fear. I hate being afraid of anything.
yeah.
So if anything in life tries to bully me, it's a wrap. I'm not gonna, whether I'm quiet about it or whether I'm aggressive about it, I'm cutting the legs off of it,
Yeah.
because I'm not gonna sit there and just stay in that space.
Yeah.
Period. Not gonna stay in fear at all, ever.
Yeah. See, fear hold people back from a completely different life. One decision away. Fear. You scared to move on. You scared. I was having a conversation with my mom, and she was telling me something about my brother, and she like, I want to talk to him, but I'm scared. I'm like, you scared?
Show son.
You used to whoop his butt. How you scared to talk
Wow.
to him? And that really made me think and got me in the thought that parenting does not stop. Like, regardless of the fact that he's in his 40s and
Okay.
she's in her, almost 60,
Okay.
like, you still need to parent. Like, you
Right.
still have to correct, bad behavior, because just because you're an adult don't mean you don't have bad behavior. You don't need to be reminded, get your stuff together. You don't need to be reminded you tripping,
Right.
and that's coming from a person that loves you. You got to learn how to accept that type of thing. A person that loves you is not going to tell you anything,
Right.
wrong,
And you got to
like
be open-minded
initially.
enough to take
Right.
that.
You have to be open-minded enough to be like, okay, this person love me, and if they see me tripping, maybe I need to
adjust.
I need to adjust. But she was scared. I was like, you scared to tell him something? You used to whoop his butt. I can remember multiple times them whoopings. Yeah, but fear hold you back from
Yeah.
a lot. From a
Fear
lot.
of success is a real thing. I had that.
Mhm.
I still deal with it, but that was one thing I had to kick real heavy, because with the other business that I deal with,
Mhm.
it was just, things were just going fast and exponentially large in many aspects, and the organization
Mhm.
has affected approximately 50,000 people's lives in this city. And
Mhm.
so it was, when I started to reflect and started paying attention to people,
Mhm.
I started fearing stuff. So when I would let people, when I was doing stuff like this needs to be done this way, this how it have to be done, because this is how we're gonna get it done, everything was just growing and going. But when I sat down, well, you need to calm down. I'm like, calm down. Okay, maybe they right. They are wise, they older and all this other stuff.
Mhm.
But in a lot of those sense, in the sense of business, in the sense of being a maverick and moving forward,
Mhm.
if it's not going to violate any laws and it's not going to run anybody over, and it's growth for help,
Mhm.
for me, I had to learn that I'm not listening to nobody. I don't care what nobody say,
Yeah.
because everything that I do, when I do it at a high tier and I'm doing it to get something done, I outperform everybody.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. That's how you
Everybody.
have to learn how to shut out the noise.
Right.
You
I'm
have to
still
learn.
waiting for people to call me a liar, because
Mhm.
I outperform, like, you years behind me when it comes to what we do and how we do that.
Yeah.
The ideas come from where we put them out there. So yeah, I'm getting excited because I'm talking on the show. See, even with this out of the mud stuff,
Yeah.
like we just expanding, and we're doing a lot of stuff. So it's like
Mhm.
God linked me up with the right business partners in this,
Yeah.
and we doing the thing.
Yeah. That's
Nobody doing it like
how
we
it's
doing it.
supposed to be.
Nobody.
When you're doing the right thing, though, you grow the most when you're in alignment. You grow
Right.
the most. Things happen the most when you're in alignment. When you're in alignment, it's like you don't necessarily even have to make too many moves. Like things just start falling into
Right.
place. So that's what that is. When that's how you know you're in alignment.
Yeah, we doing the thing. It's just an amazing journey.
Mm-hmm.
That part, as far as the self identity, it's a different space for me,
Mm-hmm.
because I have to listen to other people that are equally or even more invested than me in
Mm-hmm.
something. So I have to be humble enough and wise enough to say, okay, it's not, everything ain't on me to where I gotta have my way.
Right. Yeah.
But that's what happens when you have good business partners,
Mm-hmm.
is that they do a similar thing. They're gonna make sure, okay, yeah, but we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna make those things happen. And it's been an amazing journey.
Yeah.
All kind of roller coaster, but it's been an amazing journey.
Yeah. So in those spaces, you get to learn more about yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're like tapping into levels of yourself that have not yet been discovered. So now you're discovering new parts of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is. Alignment is everything.
For sure. Most
Alignment is
definitely.
everything. And that's how you get to where you're going. Like you're out of alignment when you're starting to feel bad. Um, you're starting to make bad decisions. You stop eating well. You're not taking care of yourself. You're not in alignment. Alignment is different. Yeah.
Yeah, got you.
But I think I've feel like I'm in that place too. Like certain areas of your life start to just fall into place and things start happening that you didn't necessarily even imagine happening. You start meeting new people, you start
Right.
making new connections, like that's a different feeling. Like right now, and it's crazy because people, no matter where I go, people always walk up to me
Mm,
and want to have a conversation about something.
mm,
Like everywhere I go.
mm.
So I know that that's part of my purpose, and I know that I'm in alignment when those things start happening.
Okay.
Because like people seek out advice from me,
Mm,
and really like this stuff comes from
mm,
reading. Like
mm,
this stuff, it comes from me taking the time out to develop this in
mm,
myself, you
mm,
know. And I think all of us have that ability, but you just need to have the drive to do it. You got to um, wonder like where does it come from?
mm.
Where does the blessings come from?
Right,
Where
right.
does the happiness come from? Like, where all this stuff come from? It comes from being in alignment. It comes from doing the right things with yourself. It comes from being the right people to other people, being the right person to other people. Um, yeah, you're in alignment.
Look,
So,
you gonna slap me on this, but when it comes to the new people stuff,
mm-hmm.
I don't want to meet nobody else. I'm like, I literally am tired of
Meeting people.
of expanding more stuff and not the people that I have in my life now. We
Mm-hmm.
not optimizing what we have. So like I can literally call folks in position of authority from this city all the way up to the Washington D.C. Like
Mm-hmm.
folks like say for instance, if somebody had Michael Jackson phone number, and you don't even know that they on the phone with Michael Jackson type stuff.
Yeah,
I can call those kind of people that are
in those
in those
positions.
spaces.
Yeah.
So I don't want no new stuff. I want the people that I know that have positions to
Mm-hmm.
make it make sense. Or why am I talking? I don't care that you consider yourself important.
Yeah.
If you're not making it make sense, why are you around even in
Mm-hmm.
your life?
Yeah.
You know. So
See, that's the thing. We get options. We get options of adding people to our life
mm,
and taking people out of it. A lot of people don't even realize or recognize that. Like that's a blessing in itself to have those options. That where if you're tired of dealing with a certain thing or a certain person, you can take it out your life. Like people really have it in their head that they're stuck with people. Like you're not stuck with people. You're not stuck in situations. You have an option in everything you do.
I had to learn that because in the last few years,
Mm-hmm.
people just disappeared. Like folks that I didn't expect to not be friends or associated with,
Mm-hmm.
just like dipped out. I'm like, what is this about? But it was painful to me, and I had to learn that lesson because it
Mm-hmm.
happened several times. I'm like, what is going on? But now that I'm in a different space, like, yeah, they wouldn't have understood. They would have just been walking in a
Yeah,
circle.
right. In the way,
Not in the
really.
way just walking in circles. They have different, because I don't like throwing away nobody. I don't,
Mm-hmm.
it's just your mindset would have been different from where I was on, and I would have just
Mm-hmm.
been irritating you or something like that because you wouldn't have understood. And like, here you go with another big old idea and doing all this other stuff. Yeah, but I that's what I do.
Yeah.
I ain't got to be seen, but I do stuff big.
Yeah.
Period. That's it.
Yeah. You don't question when people leave. No, everybody
I
is
had
not
to
meant to
learn it.
stay.
I had to learn it.
Like everybody is not meant to stay. Like people are borrowed to us. You got to understand that they are like God put resources around you.
Right. Yeah. Most
Resources
definitely.
are not forever. Resources are for a moment, for a
Mm,
season, sometimes for a lifetime, and then gone. These
mm,
are resources. God is the source, and people are the resources. So people serve their purpose for you while they're around you,
right.
and then they go about their way. That's what they're supposed to do.
Mm,
Because if they stayed, it might um it could impact your growth,
mm.
you know.
Okay, I'm going there, being my counselor here.
I'm
Had to
just
call the
saying.
VA. I got
I had to
need
learn that too.
get you on
I was
on VA
questioning,
payroll.
like, man, like you care about somebody so much, like,
Mhm.
and
Oh yeah.
we was this for this long, and you always
Mhm.
got that in your head of how long this is my family, or you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
whatever, however it goes. But it's
All of
like
that.
people are not meant to stay in your life for that long. That's why you have to get used to and learn what detachment is.
Mhm.
Detachment, you're not supposed to attach yourself to anybody, because these are not our people. These are God's people. These are God's. This is our resources,
I hear you. I had to learn that
So,
lesson. I'm still learning the lesson because I like to attach to people that I believe I'm gonna be around.
mhm.
So that's just one of my character flaws that I have to work on. I get it because I see it now when those things happen. Like,
Yeah.
dang, again, here we go. It's time. Like, how do I? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Say
Goodbye.
goodbye.
Yeah. So it's something else. This is another subject, different day.
Mhm.
But I can't stand. I just when women act like you can't have emotions for the changes. Like, where does this come from? Why we it's like, okay, you go from this, I'm the greatest, to like, I don't even want to ever see you. Like, what? Where'd that come from?
Mhm.
And then kind of stuff, what you saying? You're not here forever. You're just a flower that's floating. It's time I need a tree. Like, what? Like, what's going on?
Well, about relationships, because I just said this earlier.
Like I said, I know there's
Sometimes
a different subject for different
it
day
is a
because you're on
different subject,
self-identity
but
today.
self-identity and personal development has a lot to do with the relationships that are around you and that you're involved in as well. Because those people, again, are not really meant to stay around. Like, you're growing. Everybody's growing. If you're not like intentionally growing, then you're just you're just evolving in an unconscious way.
Mm.
But if you have and I've seen a lot of women who crazy,
Yeah.
like crazy, you can think something is wrong with you as a man, but you will be dealing with a woman who have an undiagnosed mental issue and not even know it, but think that something is wrong with you because she's unsatisfied with you. These people are not meant to stay. They're meant to learn a lesson from. They're meant to learn a lesson from. You just have to learn your lesson and learn the art of detachment. When you learn how to detach yourself from things, you will be okay. Um, Not everybody is meant to stay connected to you for the sake of their growth. And I think that's what we
Still make
have
it
to.
painful though.
It does, but the thing about it, like, we're all equipped with these emotions. Everybody's equipped with happiness, sadness, anger. We're all equipped with this. If we didn't go through any of these situations, we would not even be able to identify when we're in that, when we're going through these emotions.
I like how you just spent it around to identify,
Yeah.
self-identify.
Yeah. You have to identify when you're going through a certain situation and the emotion. You don't stay connected to the emotion. You just understand that it's there, and then you let it go. You release it. Like, you can't get upset about the things that you don't have any control over. I tell people this all the time. The only thing that you have full control over is yourself.
Sometimes.
And that's sometimes. Now, you got to think about that. If you can't even control yourself, how are you going to control somebody
How
else?
do you control your mind or your tongue when
Yes,
somebody
you
tick
can't
you
even
off?
control your own mouth. You can't control what look at. I had this guy tell me that he almost got in trouble for looking at me. Almost got in trouble.
What?
Yeah, he almost got in trouble with his wife. Him and his wife was together, and he almost got in trouble for looking at me. And I said, man, that's a shame that as a grown man, you can't even use the eyes that God gave you to look
Oh
in a
wow.
certain distance. To
You just
look. The thing about it, we people, like men and women
right.
do the same thing. Women look at beautiful women,
Mhm.
but then you don't want your man to look at it.
Right.
Like, that's weird to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Mhm.
it's weird to me that a woman would get upset about a man looking in a now, I can see if he go touch her, go grab her or something like that, but You don't want him to use this. I like a sight. That's his sight. And we love looking at things that look good. We love looking at beauty. And
But I think it's
people
the
are
way
beautiful too.
that you do it.
Now
Like,
I can see if he's like, oh, damn, she fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if he put a little extra on it. But
Yeah.
to just look, like that's crazy. It's crazy
Yeah.
to me.
I think it's yeah, it is. But I think it's based on how people are raised in their religion construct and all that other stuff too. It's some
I
different
find that to
factors.
be like insecure.
And insecurity,
Yeah.
you know.
That's insecurity to me. You get mad because your man looked at a chick. That's insecurity.
I'm when I went to Florida, Miami for the first time, I was dating this Haitian young lady. She was Haitian and Jamaican.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I was like, I ain't never been to Miami, but everything that I've imagined Miami's going to be,
Yeah.
I'm going to need you not to get upset because I'm looking at
Right.
everything.
Supposed
And
to, though.
she's like, what kind of, you going to just tell me what you're going to do? I said, yes, because I don't want to hear nothing.
Right.
And so we get down there and it's Miami. I'm just excited about being in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking Miami Vice. I'm thinking Bad Boys. All these different things. And I'm thinking like, wow. And I'm starting to see them like, oh my goodness, the shoestring bikinis do exist.
Right.
Like that kind of thing. You really doing this. Okay. All right. I said, why don't you find something to look at?
Right.
Like I'm from here. I done seen everything. Like,
yeah.
But it was fun.
And that's crazy. I mean, because I can remember like getting mad about little stuff, back then. But like I said, that comes from an unconscious program. That comes from unconscious learning. Like you learn that in a negative space and you don't even realize that you're being the negative space now. Like, so I don't know. That's
well, I probably was most definitely the negative space right there for her with me looking.
Small fries.
But my fries, I chewed all them fries that day.
Yeah, that was.
I told her it's like at the end of this day, who am I going home with? Me. I said, so stop tripping.
Right. Why would you get upset and, like, look, use your eyes. That's a gift. There's people that can't see anything. Like, so you should be able to look at everything you want to look at,
Just absorb the beauty.
Yes. And who doesn't like looking at like nice things? People, cars, buildings, houses, like everything. Anything nice you want to look at.
That's why we got magazines.
Right.
With houses in them.
No, you drive around looking at houses too.
I'm just saying they make the
they do
literature for you to look at if you can't drive around.
They do. They definitely
Whether it be
do.
Cars, jets, houses,
yes,
all that stuff. And people.
Yes. So just want to get to the importance of self-identity and personal development. Before we wrap up, I want you to make sure that you take in consideration of these 3 things. I follow these 3 steps. Well, actually, it's going to be 4. Number 1, you're going to read. You're going to learn and expand your imagination. Number 2, you're going to work out. You're going to get active because you want your body to last for another 20, 30, 40 years. You're going to eat well because whatever you eat enhance what you think about. And whatever you think about is driving your actions. And you're going to watch what you think about. You're going to watch what you think about. I think that's probably one of the most important aspects of personal development and self-identity is your thinking. Think kind.
Some good advice.
Yeah.
So what do we do around Flint in order to help that stuff? I say go to some shows at the Capitol or to the what's the museum that we got?
The Whiting.
Flint Institute of Art. And the Whiting.
Yes.
Go to different things that cause you to have a different experience and not feel like you're here all the time.
Yes.
On many
try
vacations
new things,
within your own community.
Yes. New
Bluebell
groups
Beach
of people.
still open.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not Bluebell Beach, but what's the Huckleberry Junction? You get on the train.
Oh yeah.
You ever been on that?
Never. Nope.
See, there
well,
you go.
probably when I was younger, but yeah.
I do. I used to do it every year, and I did the Christmas thing one year. But I'm gonna go this since I done said it. I'm gonna do all that stuff. I ain't
Mhm.
never. I've been to the Capitol for that movie release, Whiting for like graduation. But I'm gonna go. I go to the
Yeah.
museum all the time. But
Okay.
it's like mini vacations. I don't even feel like I'm in Flint when I go. It's
Yeah.
like wow.
Everything
Just my
look
mind
different.
gets to
Yeah.
relax and be in a different space.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the library. A lot of beautiful books at the library.
Yeah. Really and if you can't read, because I like not even saying you can't read, but
Right.
sometimes you don't always have the time to sit down and read a book. Audio books are great.
Most
Like
definitely.
audio books. Turn off the music and turn on the audio book. Yeah. Change your life.
Yeah. Think you grow rich on audio.
Yep. So yeah. That's the conversation.
So that's it.
That's it.
That was it. And this has been Out of the Mud with Juice the Truth, episode 8, self-identification.
Thank you for tapping in with Juice the Truth Wednesdays, bringing you nothing but encouragement, positivity,